What is going on, everyone out there in our MNC Hoops world? We're so thankful to be back live with you on Facebook. Not technically yet, but I'm going to actually share it to mine now. That way we can hopefully get it over to our page in a bit. But I know it would not let me do that earlier, CJ, as I'm kind of just talking to you here. I apologize.
No, you're good,
but, of course, Twitter and YouTube, we're so thankful to be on there. I think I might have got it on there. I don't know for sure. But excited to be back. A lot's going on in the NBA. A lot of rumors are going around. I don't know if I appreciate some of the rumors, but we'll go with that. But before we get going into the NBA talks, of course, CJ always like to ask how you're doing, but also want to go ahead and say Happy Memorial Day to everyone out there. We're so thankful for all you soldiers that's ever given up anything for us, and, of course, the soldiers that lost their lives just to give us our freedom. We're so thankful for that. Definitely don't want it just to be another holiday that we forget about. Although it's a great holiday, we get together with family, grill out, do everything. But if it weren't for our soldiers protecting us, our armies, our Marines, everyone like that, we wouldn't be able to do that freely, at least. So very thankful for that. And now, CJ, how you doing?
Yeah, 100% agree with everything you just said. Definitely when they talk about sacrifice, definitely the people that out there in the battlefield fighting for our freedom, 1,000%. Tribute to them, their loved ones, of course. I'm doing well. Can't complain. Man, just like, again, just gratitude, man. Just gratitude. Just got the equipment, got the stuff out. You know, a couple months ago, I was, January, I made a list. Like, I put some goals down. I think I said this before, but I put some goals down and, just doing some things and getting the right equipment to get back into doing this and, looking right now, I think did a pretty good job. Obviously more work to do, but like I said, I'm just grateful. So weekend was good. Day was pretty good too. So let's get it. Glad to talk some basketball, man. It's a lot going on.
Yes, a lot going on. And I'm afraid I've missed a couple of things, to be honest with you, but we'll get to it. Of course, Johnny on YouTube. Thank you for joining in here. This is my guy, Johnny, that tunes into every episode on Cats Chat. He knows my brother from school and everything, and he's always in the comments right away. So I appreciate you joining us on MNC Hoops here, where we're going to be talking some NBA. So,
Johnny, nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you. Let's get it.
He's a good guy for sure. Before we go any farther, let's go ahead and start with, of course, our top on here. We did get some sad news went on today. Lost of a legend, really. Passed away at the age of 71, I think it is, CJ. I know you got something you're about to pull up here, but of course, just remembering Bill Walton and his career as an announcer, as a player, done. I'm going to have to blow this up so I can kind of see some of the stats here. Let's see here. From StatMuse, Bill Walton in his 10 NBA season, 13 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and 2 blocks per game. A 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA team, 2-time All-Defensive team, and 2 NBA champions. Only 6 Man of the Year, there we go, MVP and
Finals MVP.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, wow. I got to ask, was that the same year? Couldn't have been the same year. There's
No, not the same. He won Finals MVP with the Blazers, and then he won 6 Man of the Year when he's with the Celtics.
Yeah, right. You're right. I was curious. Hey, man, the way that I read it was completely wrong, but I was like, wow, that would be crazy. And, of course, I'll say sometimes I didn't really like him as a announcer or a commentary, as you will, on the college basketballs or whatever out there in UCLA. But it was entertaining. So he was a wonderful guy, great athlete, and just always had a smile on his face, it always seemed like. So just remembering a legend there as he has passed. Oh, you got some more? Let's see here. At UCLA from 71 to 74, 20 points per game. 15.7, so that's almost 16 rebounds per game with 5.5 assists or 5.5 assists per game. 2 national championships, 2 player of the years, 3 consensus All-American, and 3 NCAA All-Tourney. Wow. I knew he was good, but I did not ever see his college stats. So That's pretty nice. Two national championships and then 2 player of the years. Like, do you know of that ever happening again?
2 national championships, 2-time player. I think Kareem might have did it as well. Yeah.
Kareem?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a while.
On the same team. Yeah, nah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Look, we just showed this collegiate career right here. And then the previous slide was his pro career. And his pro career ultimately, was kind of cut short. His prime, I should say, got cut short due to injuries, but was still able to win a championship with the Blazers in '77, then win the MVP the year after that. And then after that, that's kind of when the injuries started to pile up. But again, as I said, still managed to be a 6th man of the year on one of the greatest teams of all time, 86 Celtics. So just goes to show his impact, whether he's starting or coming off the bench, and then collegiately playing with John Wooden 88 games in a row. It's like, what can you say? What do you say? Him and Kareem, what they were able to do at that university. I mean, John Wooden, obviously, of course, 10 national championships. Bill Walton is played a factor in that. He's one of the greatest Bruins of all time. And as you said earlier, with the broadcasting as well, obviously growing up watching college basketball on ESPN, always heard his voice. So Luke Walton, his son, played in the league, 2-time champion with the Lakers, coached for a little bit. I think he's still an assistant coach, but my condolences to the family and everybody. And it's a sad day. Just remembering the legend.
Didn't Luke Walton win one at UConn?
I'm not sure where he went. I didn't know he was a Husky.
I want to say
he might have been.
I could be wrong. Sure. I just feel like I remember him on ESPN magazine doing a backwards pass behind, like in the picture.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh, Arizona.
Okay, got it.
I got to see if he had a championship.
Luke Walton?
1-2.
Yeah. He might have been, because I think that was with Gilbert Arenas and Richard Jefferson.
I think so.
Yeah, might have been.
But we will go ahead and switch over to something that I know that you love to talk about here, CJ. It's tough to go from a memorial part of an episode and then go on into the NBA, what's going on. But we do want to give the respects again, like we said, to the troops, of course, to Bill Walton as well. And as we go on into the NBA and different things going on, what's always going to be a hot topic is this name, LeBron James, and of course his free agent status of what's going on here, which is interesting to say. You want to read that one? Or can you see it?
See here, hold on. Yeah, I got it. So this is Rich Paul on LeBron James declining his player option and making the best decision. Quote, LeBron is a free agent. We got to be focused on his business and let the Lakers hire who they want to hire. He's always showed up and played for whoever coach was there. There's no need to drive a specific narrative. I think he's earned the right to have an input, but that's just not the case. I don't know what he's going to do. We're going to evaluate the situation and we're going to make the best decision. End quote, Rich Paul. So he announced this over I think it was doing like a broadcast, like simulcast with the playoff game. He was there with Vince Carter, Adam Lefkoe, Jamal Crawford was there. So Chris Haynes also. So that's when he said this quote. What's your thoughts on this?
I'll just say kind of personally, I wonder if it's kind of got two different options going on here. Is one, they may not have reached out because, in our episodes before, we always talked about that Lakers is bigger than LeBron. And it's a fact. I mean, LeBron is huge, let's be honest, but the Lakers organization and foundation, what they've all been built on, is bigger than LeBron James. And I say that in no disrespect to LeBron. I know you guys know I'm a hater of LeBron, but it's bigger than Michael Jordan. So it's just an entity of itself. I just wonder if kind of like the quote says, is they got to hire who they want to hire. I wonder if LeBron's put in some bugs in some ears and they're not really biting on those names or really trying to make an effort to go after that coach, because we've known in the history that LeBron does push for certain coaches wherever he's at. I mean, he's had 2 or 3 different when he was in Cleveland. He tried to get Spoelstra fired down in Miami for a stint there. It is what it is. I'm not saying that he is a coach like killer. I'm just saying like he's vocal when it comes to coaches, who he wants or who he doesn't want. So maybe the Lakers aren't listening here on this, and he's saying, well, fine, I do have my player option. I don't have to come here if I don't like who you guys hire, putting a little pressure on. Or it could be that Bronny's combine has kind of soared through the air as far as his credibility of what he's capable of. I think we said he's 6'1.5" or something, but his wingspan is like 6'4" or something like that. So, I mean, he's definitely still going to be growing. I mean, he's a young guy still, shows athleticism. We know LeBron is his dad. So, I mean, his ceiling is so much higher. So maybe he's thinking, well, Bronny's going to be drafted this year, and I can be a free agent and see wherever he gets drafted and see if I could take a deal to go there. Because, who wouldn't want to play with their father or son combination or play on a team with your son in the NBA? So those are my 2 thoughts that I kind of go from this. I don't know if I may be out in left field on it. How are you feeling with it?
Not really surprised. This is really what LeBron does. When he has the player option, he has the ability to be a free agent. He always capitalizes on that and gives the team that he was on before he became a free agent an opportunity to make moves and do the things necessary to entice him to stay. That's your job as an organization. That's what you're supposed to do. And if I was to grade them and what they've done, let's just grade the Lakers since they've acquired LeBron. That was 2018, right? So got a championship, missed the playoffs a couple times, got bounced out in the first round a couple times, and now you're on your 4th head coach in 6 years for LeBron. So not a lot of structure there. I would say dysfunctional. I mean, you're in your 4th head coach in 6 years for the Los Angeles Lakers. That doesn't scream stability to me. And then you got LeBron James, Anthony Davis on the team. The moves that they made last year, that they kept most of those guys, and going into this year didn't work out. Didn't work out the way that they thought it was going to. Mm-hmm. We'll see what they do there. But for LeBron to be a free agent, it's going to weigh out his options. I mean, to me, I really don't see a lot of places for him to go. People are going to say Philadelphia, but let's realistically, like, does that make a lot of sense? He's going to go play for the Sixers, and the second best player would be, well, however you want to rank it. I still, going into the playoffs, I would have LeBron be the number 1 option. I mean, obviously he's been farther than Embiid, but that doesn't even make sense because Embiid can't stay healthy. So why would he leave to go all the way to cross country to Philadelphia to go play with a top 5 player, but can't stay healthy in the playoffs when he's got 2 years left minimum in his career? That realistically, logically makes 0 sense. Better off just staying in LA with a guy who's also very talented, but has some injury issues, but was stayed healthy this year. Played, I think, 76 games, career high. So that you can build off that. What's the point of leaving? So Philadelphia is obviously out of the mix. It makes no sense from a realistic standpoint. I don't see any other team. Maybe the people watching in the comments, you guys could let us know like what type of team. I don't really see a team that would make a lot of sense other than the Lakers. Do
you think he could actually go back and say, I'm coming back to Miami and for like a Miami 2.0 like he did with Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be a real conversation between him and Pat Riley, and I just don't know if that's a conversation that either party is trying to have at this stage of their life and career. Pat Riley has his vision of what he wants to do with the Miami Heat, and LeBron has his vision of how he wants to finish the end of his career. So I just don't see, and I just think that time has passed. There was 4 great years, 2 chips back to back, 27 in a row. Like beautiful, beautiful memories.
Mm-hmm.
All basketball fans will cherish, but you don't always have to go back to the well. And I think, just leave that Miami run in the past. When it's time, obviously jerseys will be retired, statues will be built, but there's no need to go back to that. So yeah, like I said, Lakers, it just makes the most sense, but that doesn't mean be complacent if you're Rob Pelinka. I mean, you talked about these things. You need a center, you need a wing, you need to make moves. You can't have that backcourt as defensively. It's not going to be successful. Impossible. You got to switch it up. Are you going to go super tall lineup, get a traditional center next to AD and LeBron, or are you going to try to get a versatile wing with AD and LeBron and still have AD play the 5? What do you want to do? To me, you could do both. I mean, you could go get a guy that you could put in center sometimes, depending on the matchup, like the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
And then in some other situations, or the Mavericks, in some other situations, if they play a little bit smaller ball, you could put AD at the 5 and have that versatile wing out there that has to space the floor, be able to make the necessary plays. So if I'm Rob Pelinka, I go both routes, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to be able to adjust depending on who you play in the NBA, especially in the West. I mean, the West, you got all different types of styles of teams that you have to account for. So you need to be ready and be prepared. And this is the time they're supposed to do that. This is the team building period for organizations. So I mean, the clock is ticking the clock is ticking for Rob Pelinka. You got LeBron's final years potentially. If he resigns, I think he's going to resign. I just feel like, Rich Paul, just trying to make some news or whatever. I just, it's because I really don't see him going anywhere else. But it's on Rob Pelinka, man. Genie Bus too. Who's really running the team? There were some questions about that earlier on, but it's like, who's really making the moves? Because some of the decisions that was made over the last couple of years is a little bit confusing. So This is a big offseason for the Los Angeles Lakers, and you got to get the head coach right. You have to get that head coach right. That's the key, and that's what Rich Paul said there too. You got this head coach has to not only be a head coach that can mesh well with LeBron and be able to work with him and AD in LeBron's last couple of years, but also be there after post LeBron's time as a Laker. Because you don't want to go, okay, wow, you just got this coach because LeBron likes to coach, and then when LeBron leaves, you get another head coach. That's not proper team building. That screams dysfunction. That screams already what they've been doing. So, and they haven't even got the coach that LeBron really wanted anyway.
He's in LA.
Right, exactly. Just on a different team.
Right. But, and again, I think the other teams in the past have fully committed to LeBron and, pleasing him in whatever way they can to build around him to keep him. And when he leaves, they're trash, Cleveland 1.0 after he left, they were out for so long. Miami had a wild stint there where after LeBron left, they were, poverty as well. So, I think, like you're saying, they need to kind of watch what they're doing. I personally, again, Lakers are bigger than any player by themselves. I would start building around AD and just go ahead and focus on that with the players and then say, hey, listen, LeBron, this is what we have. We want you. And I think that may help that decision out, because I agree with you 100%. You have talked for sure about the backcourt and how lack of defense that they can play and how that hurts LeBron, where he has to pick up on help defense more, the rotations and whatnot. Anthony Davis doesn't have a true 5. He'd rather play a 4. And a lot of these different things that, it looks good as far as players, but they don't mesh well together. So I think this is an offseason where Lakers need to say, hey, LeBron's not technically with us right now. We think we can get him, but let's go ahead and play. And if AD is our guy, if there's no LeBron, AD's got to be our superstar. We need a 5 so he can excel at the 4, be like a Giannis, if you will. No, I'm not comparing them to, not getting into that argument. And just have those guards that can be 3 and D. And then, now Anthony Davis says, I like this lineup. Yeah, let's run it back now.
So what are the two things that Anthony Davis needs?
For him to be the superstar? I think he needs if there's no hope of LeBron James, he needs a point guard, a scoring point guard who can pass, which is already what they need. I know that's what you're about to say. And he needs someone to play the 5 that can protect the rim and not let him have to bang and get the rebounds a lot. In my opinion, it's with a knockdown 2 or 3 2 guard.
And those 2 positions that they need to lock in on works perfectly well for LeBron too.
With LeBron, right?
Because that's how they won a championship.
So I think if they do that to focus on Anthony Davis, I think it too shows what they need with LeBron as well.
Yeah,
we're on the same page.
Again, that's common sense. Like you would think that if he's the younger player, he's obviously going to be there playing in a Laker uniform longer than that's common sense. But as we've seen, they've been unable to kind of get to that point. So
listen, there's trade rumors going around, and that's going into our next topic here. But I seen something I was talking about that Donovan Mitchell. Well, let me back up and say this: Cleveland Cavaliers said they're absolutely not going to let Donovan Mitchell walk after next season. It was talking about that they're either going to assign him to an extension, and if not, they will trade him this year and not just go empty-handed with him walking. And the reason why I say that is because there was an article saying that the Los Angeles Lakers need to be the team that goes for Donovan Mitchell. And I'm sitting there thinking, Donovan Mitchell is a better player, all-around player than Westbrook as far as offensive threats from a 3-level scorer. But at the same time, that's a lot of superpower between those 3 guys. I don't know if that would work. Like you need a guard that is good at setting up, a playmaker in the passing world, getting people to their spots, setting up that right, or getting the pick, rolling with it, and knowing where to throw it. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is that guy. So that's where I come with that. Of course, other trade talks. I don't know. Do you want to say anything about the Donovan Mitchell real quick?
Yeah, just the Big 3 era. That Big 3 era is over. It's done. It's as we've seen, it's a dynamic duo era. It's going back to what it used to be: Magic, Kareem, Jordan, Pippen, Shaq, Kobe. So a little bit earlier, we're going to kind of break down some duos all time. But yeah, the Big 3 era is chopped. It's chopped. You got your team. You don't have any depth. You lose. You don't have any assets for the future. It's just much better to have 2 guys solidified, and then you build the rest of the team. You got all your picks. You can still build. Look like we'll talk about Dallas later. But
we'll get to it.
Yeah. That's the proper way to build teams right now, man. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. So other trade rumors that are going around, of course, everyone's going to be talking about this East Coast team quite a bit because I think it's on shambles. I'll say it. I think this team is very close to being on shambles on which way it goes. Embiid has not been happy for a while as far as who they get coming in, people going. There's been rumors of speculations of other people coming and going. And, of course, the Sixers are talking about targeting 3 people this summer. Jimmy Butler, who apparently everyone thinks Pat Riley hates. Of course, Levine with the Chicago Bulls, who should have broken up last year midseason. Don't know why that didn't happen. And Brandon Ingram, of course, in the Pelicans. We talked about this time and time again on the show before it became a conversation, really, that something's got to change for the Pelicans. There's too many star players that's not getting the action. So what do you think's going on here, CJ? I tell you what, I'm sorry. Let me read this. I didn't read it. NBA Central. Sorry, we got brought up here for the graphic. The Philadelphia 76ers are expected to show interest in Levine, Butler, and Ingram. And, of course, it's quote somebody here. The Sixers believe they can use their draft assets and available cap space to acquire a difference maker via a trade. Excuse me. That has led to Miami's Butler, Chicago's Levine, and Pelicans Ingram here. So basically, you're recapping what I've already said, but I didn't know it was a quote there.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Let's just look at these 3 players and see how they match the timeline for the Philadelphia 76ers. Jimmy Butler,
34.
34, yeah.
I think.
I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. Why would Miami trade Jimmy Butler to the Sixers? Unless I'm getting Maxey in return. That's the only way I'm trading Jimmy Butler to the Sixers. So just not a realistic trade. Levine, okay. Obviously his time in Chicago, they played better when he was out. They had played a little bit more inspired basketball. Kobe White emerged, was an MIP candidate. I thought he should have won it, but still, it was obviously a top candidate. He had a big time year, had the best year of his career, every aspect, every stat. So they want to move off Levine, and Levine could go to Philadelphia. Chicago obviously take some draft picks. They could be stand pat. I mean, if they're crazy, they try to ask for Maxey. I'm hanging up the phone like we're obviously not doing that if I'm Daryl Morey. And then you got Brandon Ingram. I think Brandon Ingram makes the most sense. I think his age matches with the timeline of Maxey and Embiid. Embiid's 29. I believe Brandon Ingram's 25, turning 26, and Maxey's 23, and turning 24. So, that you have three guys that have, within a few years of each other. So that's perfect. They're gonna have to. What are they getting? What are they losing? What is Philadelphia losing? Because again, as I said, when you try to make these big threes, you're gutting your roster. You're losing depth. Their depth wasn't great last year. Obviously, moving up to Tobias Harris, we know that ship has sailed. Kelly Oubre, I would bring Kelly Oubre back. I would bring Kelly Oubre back. Honestly, I would go Maxey. They got to figure out. So they could either try to find. Yeah, they got to figure out. They got to figure out the shooting guard spot or the power forward spot. Because because Kelly Oubre had a really good year for the Sixers, I would resign him if I'm Philadelphia, and I would go Maxey, Oubre, Ingram, and Embiid, and then they got to figure out who that one out of who could figure out that last spot. With that lineup, that's a good look. With that lineup, you got Maxey, Oubre, Ingram, Embiid. You got guys that can score, play defense. You got a multitude of options late in the shot clock, in the fourth quarter. Multiple. You can't double. Who you gonna double in that situation? Mm-hmm. You got screen.
Got good size as well.
Yeah, exactly. Maxey's 6'3". And then Oubre and Ingram are 6'7" plus. And Embiid, obviously, is 7 foot tall. So that's what I would do if I'm the Sixers. Nick Nurse is a defensive-minded guy, so tall, wings, athletic wing players is definitely going to be something that he's going to favor. So I would get Brandon Ingram if I'm the Philadelphia 76ers. That would be my primary focus.
Out of those three, yes.
Out of those three, the Pelicans, they want to re-sign Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. So and I think that's an incredibly smart move by the Pelicans. I mean, they're not going to be as expensive as BI right now, and they're young and they're ready for their opportunity. And I think both of those guys together will complement each other well, especially next to Zion. It's perfect. You got two athletic wings that can space the floor, play defense next to Zion. So that's the Pelicans move. They're going to get more picks when they trade. If they was to get BI, which is obviously what they want because they're a small market team. So the more picks for them, the better, regardless of what their team looks like. And the Sixers get that third option just in case Embiid misses a couple games. You still have Maxey and Ingram to go out there and win you a few games that they probably lost this year because Embiid got hurt for a substantial amount of time.
So I'm going to share my screen real quick. It is from the no trade clause, which I absolutely love showing on here. Shout out you guys and Aaron Washington down there, I think in Georgia. Here's my problem. Everyone here is basically an unrestricted free agent next year. So, who are you going to sign back? Because, this is usually the year that we're going into that they're in the unrestricted free agent. You try to do those extensions and keep, or you trade them off. So, after this year, they don't have anyone on the books at all.
Yeah,
so to me, that gets scary. Well, to me, that's scary because who you keeping? You got Maxey, who obviously he's not a restricted or unrestricted. You can max him. He's only there for 3 years, so you can give him the rookie max, whatever. Get that going. Embiid, you've got until for 4 years there. But like, if you go all in with Brandon Ingram, who else are you going to want to try to sign back to build with this team? Because to me, if they don't like this team and it doesn't go well, they don't keep anyone because no one wants to go back. Like Kyle Lowry, he's not here to stay unless this team is competitive. Batum, same way. Buddy Hield's been traded 6-7 times. Tobias Harris, we've already talked about. There's going to be a trade. Has to be a trade there for that $50 million. That's crazy. But I mean, the rest of them. I mean, they're kind of cheap, but at the same time, do you have a roster really?
Yeah, I mean, if they have, Daryl Morey is, he's had success in this league in terms of running teams with the Rockets. I wasn't necessarily a fan of the scheme, but they still had a lot of success. So this is his canvas, right? He was given the power to build this team, and this is a crucial offseason for the Sixers because one, Embiid, you got to. It's just what can you do? I mean, he always gets hurt in the playoffs. It's unfortunate. It's sad. We obviously wish we would see him longer than just one round or 2 rounds. You want to see him in the conference finals or in the finals, but he just can't stay healthy. So you have to build this team the right way to where if and when he does miss time, you still have a solid core and you're not losing games you're supposed to win. That's how they need to build this team. And looking at that list that you had up there, like I said, you keep Oubre, try to keep Oubre. Kyle Lowry off the bench, just has a spark plug off the bench. He played well. He played well in spurts. Again, he's 38, 39 years old. I don't know what guys expect him to be at this stage of his career. Obviously, the end of his like prime was that Raptors run, right? So,
yeah,
he could still, he's from the area. He could still be a solid kind of like player coach type for that team, that city. Knock down a couple big shots here and there. That's just the type of player that he is going to be at this stage. You could keep him. He's not going to be expensive. Got to look into the draft too. Again, like can't always just go in. If you can't always, again, these players are going to get expensive. You have to be able to scout and find guys. And people are so downplaying this draft class, but you have to scout and find. It's your job. Like it's your job. This is what you're supposed to do. And because if you scout well, you draft guys with high upside, you're not paying them a lot of money, so it's a win-win, and that's what they have to do. They have to do that as well. So there's big steps for Philadelphia. But as I said, out of those 3, I would pick Brandon Ingram. That would be I would go Ingram, Levine, and Butler because Butler again just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, to me, I would go the same order just because I don't think Butler would want to come back anyways, just because how sour of a exit that was last time. Plus, I feel like personally, Levine and Maxey is going to be almost the same as far as what you're getting from both players, and that would be tough, I think, to manage. It's almost Lowry, DeRozan style, in my opinion, there. So we know it can sustain through the regular season, but can it do anything in the playoff? Who knows? So that's why I would go Ingram as well. Get you a 3 or 4 guy that you can play either position and still be a 4-point, basically. So I'm with you. Once again, we agree. I think I would take Butler over Levine any day, but I don't want him to leave Miami, and I don't think that fit happens. Speaking of nothing, because this doesn't work, but we're going to go with the segue anyways. We just got a new listing of our All-NBA selection reaction, or that's our reaction, I'm sorry, our All-NBA selection. And CJ, I want to hear your reaction to this list and tell me what you think as we got this already up here. Beautiful, right on cue. The All-Defense second team. That's Caruso, Drew Holiday, Jaden McDaniels, Jalen Suggs, and Derek White in the All-NBA second defensive team. What's your thoughts? Oh, muted.
No front court players, no big men on this list. That's the one thing that's surprising to me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Wembanyama could have been on. I don't know. They probably, again, the media, they don't like. If you're a special type of rookie, they won't give you the awards other than Rookie of the Year. Then the second year, that's when they'll come and give you all the rewards. So that seems to be what they've done. That seems to have been a pattern for years. It's like they won't give the rookies like other than Rookie of the Year. That's the only award they'll give them. So I feel like Wembanyama could have been on this list, but this is a good list. All these guys have played exceptional well on defense. You see three out of the five guys still in the playoffs playing right now. So Caruso and Jalen Suggs were in playoff contention as well. So, you see the impact all five of these guys had. They're on teams that have won a lot of games, and well deserved. No disagreements from me.
Yeah, I will say I'm biased, and you know that. And reading the comment over here on the right where SGA led the league in steals. And I also went on to say in the comment that he averaged a block in back-to-back years. Does he not get recognized for leading in steals?
Yeah, I mean it's a factor. Of course, steals plays a big factor, but his defense has been really good. Has been really good this year and last year as well. It's tough. It's like, who do you take off?
Right.
Because all of these guys played so well defensively, and this is their role too. Right. This is their role to go out there and dominate on that end, knock down shots, be a spot up. So defense is number one priority for all five of these guys, and SGA just missed the cut. That's how I see it. It's not to say that he didn't deserve to be on this list. There's a couple guys, like I said, there's not even another center on there.
Right.
Wow.
That's what makes it crazy. Like, to me, it's. I want to do a list where it actually is a lineup. I don't know. Is that just me, or do you feel like they should be like a center, forwards, or at least two forwards, three guards, or three forwards, two guards, or two forwards, one center, and two guards? Like, I feel like it needs to be a lineup.
To me, it should be a good combination. I think it should be the five best guys, but it should also be well positioned out through the positions. Like, they're trying to go positionless basketball with this lineup right here, which is cool. But I'm saying if it's the five best guys and within their position, but if we have a case here where the voters felt like there wasn't a center that was worthy of being, all defensive second team, then you get the next available guy. You don't just, let me just find the center out of the woodworks that had a couple blocks and make him.
I agree.
I think it needs to just be a happy medium there, good mix. As long as you get the right guys in there, to me that's the key focus.
Okay.
All right, then we got the first team. First team. Oh, okay. With me on the first team.
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect. So there's no guards on this unit.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. Not at all. Not at all. And I think this is good too. This is good too. Bam.
I'm glad Bam is on there. I mean, that's
of course. Bam Adebayo, AD, Gobert, Herb Jones, and Wembanyama. You see in the comments, some people felt like Jaden McDaniel should have been there in front of Herb Jones. Mm-hmm. To me, these are you could have had one of those guys, the second team, but Adebayo, Davis, Gobert, Wembanyama, those are locks. And Herbert Jones had an excellent year defensively. Mm-hmm. Excellent year defensively. So, yeah, for me, I was going to win he's going to have 10 first team, maybe 15 all defensive first teams, bro. It's going to be crazy.
I was trying to think too, like these guys are all defensive-minded team like players, like that's what they're known for. I do think that's one thing probably hurt SGA is that's not what he's known for, and I'm not saying it's in any way form or wrong that it's wrong on that. It's just when you think of Bam, you think of defense. When you think of AD, you do think of offense. I'd say he's probably the only person on these top 5 or top 10 that has offense to go with it. Victor, of course, will be coming with it. Herbs is coming.
Yeah, I'll say Wembanyama both too as well.
It's coming with it, but like AD is the superstar offense who blocks shots and can steal. So like, I feel like offensively, what? Were you disagreeing with me?
I feel like Wembanyama. I mean, listen, like now AD right now for sure is made, but
Wembanyama in 5 years, definitely.
In 5 next.
I mean,
next year.
Okay, you're right, but I mean, I'm just trying to, I guess, dominance. So I mean, he's obviously there as far as defensive for sure now, but I'm saying offensively. Okay, I'll back it to 2 years where he takes over.
Where he takes over, man.
It's there. Don't get me wrong. It's there.
I just don't see anybody stopping him, man. I really don't. First of all, he's the tallest player in the league, or second tallest player in the league, and he's the most gifted at his position. AD right now for sure, absolutely. But AD's done.
Okay,
definitely made, but. Out of this list, I agree. I'll go AD, Wembanyama in terms of like offensive ability and defensive ability. Yeah.
And then, of course, Bam, because he's awesome on offense. Like, I know you buy into that.
Yeah, but again, we know what he brings to the table for Miami, and this is why he's on the list right here, for sure.
He is the anchor for Miami, period, defensive-wise.
Facts. All right, and this is the defensive team. Now we're going to pull up the All-NBA first team, second and
I haven't even checked. Ain't the other game going on right now? I've not even looked at the score. Yeah. So why are you bringing it up?
4. Yeah, so third All-NBA third team. You got LeBron James, Domantas Sabonis, Steph Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Booker. Thoughts?
I was complaining that SGA wasn't on the second team, and he's still not even on the third team. We have LeBron who.
No, this is all NBA. This is not defensive. This is all NBA. Yeah.
Okay. You said third team. My bad. I was thinking we're going straight to there.
No, it's not third team for defense.
I didn't think so, but it was playing out. So third team. I mean, it's some superstar recognition names. I don't want to hate on LeBron. I mean, obviously it's gifted there, and he still brings it. It's just the fact to think that I would say LeBron off the list and Sabonis is still on it. So I'm not going to argue this. LeBron deserves it if Sabonis is on there. I know Sabonis is a good player, but it's just hard to say that if I'm going to say LeBron had a worse year than Sabonis, I just feel like I need to stop podcasting here.
So had a worse year. I mean, they're on the list together, bro.
That's what I'm saying. But like, I feel like LeBron maybe should be off of this list, but I don't want to take him off and have Sabonis on there. Is what I'm saying. Because I feel like such a disrespect.
But why do you have to subtract Sabonis? Who would you have that's like on the outside looking in that you would replace LeBron?
Well, I'm not for sure. I hadn't looked at the second team or anything.
Okay.
To know if they're out there, but
not second team, but like somebody that's like okay, that's like these are like the top 15 players, right? That's what the right. So who would be 16 for you that you would say that you would take LeBron out and put that person in? Sabonis can still stay right there, but
see, I think it would be disrespectful to LeBron, like to say Sabonis had a better year than him. I mean, is Paul George on this list? I felt like he played pretty well this year.
You think Paul George should have been on this list over LeBron?
You're making me second guess myself. What kind of stats did they have as far as
bro, I'm asking you, bro. You're the one that said,
I know.
On this list. So I'm like, okay, so
I got to see his stats. And see, I know stats don't really say much, but okay. LeBron was 25.7, 7.3 rebounds and 8 assists at 54% shooting, 54 from field goal. So I mean, okay.
What was it from three?
Didn't say on that what I was looking at. Let's see. That's just career. Let me go basketball reference. That should have
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir. Always.
Total. Oh, that's playoffs. Let me back up. See, I don't want to speak without looking at the numbers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what we're here. We live. Let's see what the stats. It's the stats, man.
Okay, here we go. I think this might be it. Will it show me more? Turn my phone sideways. Sorry, guys. This is so unprofessional, but we want to be factual instead of opinionated.
You good, bro? You need an assist?
Yes, if you got it.
Okay. That's funny.
Okay, I think I might be getting there now. Nope.
Yeah, so he shot 41% from three this year.
40. Wow. Okay.
Career high. Career high, I believe. Let me see. Let's go down the list.
Because that changes the narrative big time.
That's his career high. Second highest was in 2012-13. That's when he went bananas in Miami. That's when he won MVP.
I got you. Okay.
So,
I'll back up and I'll say, sure, I'm happy with this. Are you good with it as well?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think they got it right. It's rare that I agree with some of these voters, but I feel like they kind of get lazy with how they vote. But
I agree.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the right. Sabonis was a double machine all year. He deserved to be on this list. LeBron, we just talked about Halliburton, career year, absolutely. Steph, incredible. Booker too. Yeah. So I don't see any debates with these five. All right, let's look at the second team, guys. All right, we got Jalen Brunson, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, and Kawhi Leonard.
I'm glad Brunson's on here because I thought he might have been left off as I was trying to think through some.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance, brethren. Not a chance he was getting left off, brother.
I like this list as far as the second team for sure. I could see maybe Anthony Davis going up in the first team unit, but I don't know who it is out there. I'm assuming, well, you got to think it's what? SGA, Luka. Well, Kyrie's not on here, is he? Because Kyrie ain't going to be first team, is he?
No, Kyrie's not going to be first team. No, Kyrie's not. Kyrie would miss selection.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a good. This is a really good second team. I don't. Kawhi, he missed some time.
Right.
He did miss some time, so for him to be second team, it's a little interesting there. You probably could have moved somebody up from third team to second team. I don't want to be biased here, but you could have put LeBron here as well. I mean, again, he played 70-something games. He was available much more than Kawhi was. So Anthony Edwards,
I'll give you that.
Anthony Edwards, we see the type of season he's had and propelled this team to a Western Conference Finals appearance. KD. He's just a walk-in 28 points per game on efficient shooting splits. It's just what he does. He's going to continue to do that until he decides to walk away from the game. Anthony Davis, as we talked about when he was on the all-defensive team, like just one of the best two-way players in the NBA.
And I think he played in like 70 games too. Like that's big for him.
Yes. He played his career high in games played this year. It just goes to show when he's available, he's one of the best two-way players. This right here is clear, factual evidence that you're one of the best two-way players. Because if you're on the defensive team and all NBA, that means you're an elite two-way player. So that's the upside for Anthony Davis, right? And Rob Pelinka got to figure that out. You got a top 3 2-way player in the world. Figure that out, man. It's facts, bro.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Brunson, of course. Listen, just special year, spectacular year. Came up short, of course, in Game 7 against Indiana, but the season he had, winning 50 games, number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, fourth in the league in points per game, career highs and everything. Again, just continues to get better every single year. Averaging 30-7 and 33-7 in the playoffs, multiple 40-point games in the playoffs. I mean, you could make the argument he could be first team, man. You can make the argument he could be first. In the Eastern Conference, rank the players this season in the Eastern Conference.
I mean, it would be. I mean, as far as in order, I'm not going to do that. I mean, Embiid, of course, is top of there, but he's been hurt, so it's not going to be there.
Okay.
I mean, Brunson is in top 5. Tatum is top 5. Halliburton this season he's had is top 5. So there's 3 there. In the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, that seems about right. Halliburton, T-shirt Tatum, Giannis. Of course. Yeah, I think you said Giannis already, but yeah, Giannis, of course. So Jalen Brunson was, to me, Jalen Brunson was a top 3 player, top 4 player in the East. Again, like as everything I just said, 50-win season, and for the second half of the season, they didn't have OG Anunoby and Julius Randle. Yeah, Mitchell Robinson was out,
and I think that gets overlooked for him a lot.
Which one?
Brunson, just that he carried this team without most of the team. Like I feel like that should weigh a lot for him.
Yeah, but again, you would hope so, but the media it's not that, but the media, they'd rather kind of throw little side jabs at the Knicks as opposed to just give them the praise. Now this year, they have gotten more praise. Kendrick Perkins, Kevin Garnett, guys come out, but then you still got but then you still got other players like Gilbert Arenas and Draymond Green calling the season a fluke. So it's just that give and take. But yeah, like I said, Brunson definitely deserved to be on this list. No question, the top 10 player this year. It's not even a question. All right, then we got the first team coming up.
It's got to be SGA, Luka, Giannis, and Jokic. Who's the 5th? Who am I forgetting?
One more. Let's see if we get it right before I switch. Without looking at your phone.
SGA, Luka, Giannis, Jokic. Oh, who am I forgetting?
Come on, bro. You can't forget this. Come on, it's easy.
I cannot. Oh, Tatum.
Right. There we go. And that is the first team.
It's a great picture of Tim Duncan, by the way.
Yeah. I think that was Tim Duncan doing like it was doing like an interview with Richard Jefferson on Rich Jefferson's YouTube channel. It was fun.
Okay.
So yeah, Giannis, Luka, SGA, Jokic, Jason Tatum, all NBA first team. I don't see a debate. Luka to me is the face of the NBA. The new.
So is this in order? Giannis number 1, or is this just the?
No, it's just the 5. Okay. Yeah, no, it's not. Okay. It's not an order. Yeah, it's just the 5 selected. No debate.
Man,
Tatum best player on the best team. Giannis had a great year. Some I see some people were kind of trying to argue with Giannis because he missed some time too, but the numbers were still astronomical. I mean, Luka's just walking 33-9-9. He's going to average 33-9-9 for the rest of his career. Like it's just what he does. He does it in the playoffs, in the regular season. Face of the NBA. What am I supposed to say? the best. I mean, he's the best player left in the playoffs right now. So obviously that's a lock. SGA, incredible season.
Should win MVP.
Most 30-point games this year. I picked him for MVP. I felt like he should have won MVP, but it is what it is. Jokic, the guy who actually won the MVP,
who won the MVP.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 years winning MVP is special.
Crazy.
It's special.
Yeah.
It's special. I believe LeBron was the last person to do that. 3 out of 4 years. And Tatum. This is where at the beginning of the season, this is where I said he would be. He has to be here. I mean, the team was just too great. And just look at the future. You just look at Tatum and look at and Luka. SGA, future's very bright. For the league. So
no Jaylen Brown on this list.
Jaylen Brown wouldn't be first team. Absolutely not. No.
No, I'm saying on the whole list. Like first, second, or third.
It's listen, picking 15 players in today's NBA with the talent, it is. It's very tough. It's very tough to say, yeah, these are the 15 best guys because it's really not. Because again, like as you said earlier, he's like, where's Kyrie? Like you could throw Kyrie in there. Kyrie also missed some time, but his numbers and his shooting splits are incredible. I mean, he's pretty much a 50, 40, 90 threat every single season. So.
Johnny, real quick, have a good one, man. Thanks for jumping on here, man. You have a good night.
You have a good night, man.
He said, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but he was just saying he had to get off here and go to bed.
Okay. All right, so let's transition to the next topic.
All right. Is this going to our matchups?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What's crazy is I had our short that you have put together for us on our last episode where you cut it into the clips and put on YouTube. I was actually recapping that again, watching it here, and kind of cracked up because while you were talking about this matchup, you said that you had the Mavs in 7. And here we are. Mavs are up 3-0 at home for a closeout sweep against the Timberwolves, who just knocked out the defending champions. What is going on here?
Well, what's going on is, listen, the simple answer is the Mavericks have Luka and Kyrie, and that's a simple answer. But when you go more in depth into what's going on, of course it plays a factor. Luka and Kyrie, what they bring to the table on a possession by possession basis, it's very tough to defend. And the Timberwolves, they're a great defensive team, but they're a really good defensive team at the point of attack, right? Jaden McDaniels, those guys are good at getting physical with you at the point of attack. But if you have players like Doncic and Irving, who they could call up with and Gobert likes to sit in the paint, but Luka and Kyrie, they set that screen on that 1-4, that 1-5 flat all the time. So that's bringing Gobert out of the paint. That's bringing him up to the perimeter. And if they switch, they have a favorable matchup. So it's just really just what type of, can we get the matchup we want on a possession by possession basis? And they do that the whole game, pretty much. They do that the whole game. And it works because Luka and Kyrie are so efficient. I mean, they're so efficient. You could go drop coverage. You just can't. You can't go drop coverage because Luka and Kyrie, they're 3-level scorers. So that's a floater. Those are mid-range shots. Those are easy buckets for them. You try to hedge and put two up top on the screen. Derek Lively, I think he has the potential to be, one of the next great American centers. His upside is unlimited upside, because he already has the high IQ on what to do when he gets the basketball on that short roll. He knows when to hit the hash, and depending on where the help is at, hit the open man. That's a game changer. Like that alone is a game changer, like without question, because there's a lot of centers, as soon as they get that basketball in that short roll, they have no idea what to do. The person that knows how to do it, the person that does it the best is Draymond Green. Draymond Green pretty much he became a Hall of Famer pretty much off that short roll, off the DHOs, doing things like that, setting up easier shots for Steph and Clay. And Lively is able to do that now. He's 7 feet tall. He's athletic. He can step up, unlike Gobert. He can step up on that screen and guard and defend for a couple seconds because he knows he has help behind him. And the Timberwolves, they don't have great help defenders. Like Cat's not a great help defender. Like he gets there way too late. He thinks about it too much as opposed to just reacting. Like, oh, should I get there? Should I help? Oh no, should I worry about the corner? You have to be able to decide that those split second decisions is the difference between a miss and a make. 100%, or a good contest or a light contest, a heavy or light contest. It's the difference. Those little split decision adjustments you have to make on the fly. So they haven't been able to do that. Again, a game by game basis. If the games are close, but come fourth quarter time, the T-Wolves are up with like 5 minutes left, but they're unable to close because the Mavericks have Luka and Kyrie, and they have two of the best closers left in the playoffs. There's just no stopping those guys.
And I'm going to go with it a little bit further too. Is, in my opinion, at least, is I think the Timberwolves are a well put together team to match up against a Nuggets team. They've got the front court to be physical, the height of it, to bang with Jokic or even Aaron Gordon, and I think that's why they won that series. But they just met the series, a series before what they needed to. And I think they go from being front court heavy, defensive minded, to all of a sudden now we're back court and have to readjust to what's going on here. And I think that's where it comes up to a problem is this team isn't really built for both big guys to be able to help on defense or hedge, as you're saying earlier. Cat is a liability with that. That's why they went out and got Gobert to be able to help on that defense part. But with these both Luka on one side, Kyrie on the other, just picking back and forth, Cat's going to be on the island, or Gobert is going to end up on the island, as we've seen at the last second shot on the basically tween crossover, tween step back Luka for the game winner three. Gobert looked like he's trying to do a TikTok dance, to be honest with you. He was all over the place. So, I mean, that's where I feel like the matchups, just like they built the team. And I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing it. They built the team to beat the defending finals champions, and they did. But now it almost is coming back to bottom. It's almost a matchup hindrance here on what they can do. And with Luka and Kyrie doing that, Anthony Edwards has to play some more defense, more than what he had to in the series before. Not saying that he didn't, but he plays good defense. But I think his numbers are kind of showing that he has to be more defensive-minded with this team. They're more guard-heavy. And Lively, I think, just combating with what you were saying there, I think it's brilliant for them to bring in Tyson Chandler to work with him individually as far as his development of the game and knowing what's going on in the NBA as a center position. So I just feel like Luka and Kyrie have so much going on with them as far as offensively and has so much that they can do with the I guess their offensive skills are unlimited. And you can't really say push them right, push them left, make them shoot the jump shot, or bring them down low to where they meet our big guys. Whatever your plan is, they're going to be able to do the opposite. And when you overload one side to try to help with that, well, all they got to do is reverse the ball, and they got the other one on the other side to do the exact same thing, and you're already weak-sided now. So it's just this team is excelling in what they know to excel in, and that's what's going great for them. Kudos to Jason Kidd setting up these guys where they want to go. But I think it's even more with that. You can watch some videos just talking about the NBA and the chemistry that these two guys have together. I think it's going unnoticed more than anything. People are talking about how come Kyrie can be second fiddle or didn't want to be second fiddle to LeBron James, but now he's being second fiddle to Luka. I don't even think that's the case here. I think he wanted to be the guy, and was in too much of a spotlight, and that's one reason why he went away from LeBron. And now he's come to went with KD, the whole everything went on there. And now he's found a home down in Dallas where I don't have to be in that spotlight. I can just be back here and teach Luka how to develop into a superstar on and off the court. And I actually get to be a part of this movement too, where I'm out of what's going on. Like my name has not been brought up on any social media things, and let's just play ball. And I think the chemistry between those two, carrying each other, having each other's back, is going so much farther in this. And that's why last week, if you remember, I said in 7, but I also went ahead and said that Dallas was going to win the NBA Finals. I don't think this this series is making it in 7 now. Do you? I think maybe 5. I'll give Wolves the game here, but it's at Dallas, and I don't really see it happening. Could this be a sweep?
Could be. Yeah, it could be a sweep. Well, with the T-Wolves' inability to close late in games, it's a possibility. But let's go back to last year with the Mavericks. Remember when they lost those last 2 games in the regular season, and that ultimately led to them getting a lottery pick? That ended up being Derek Lively, and that was a win. That was a win. You get a lottery pick, and you have Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving on your roster already. That was a home run. That was a home run for sure. And he's played such a factor for them. Kyrie just found the home. He found the home. This was the right place for him. Mark Cuban is a pro player owner. He supports his guys. He rides for his guys all the time. Make sure they're always good. Sometimes to a default. I've definitely heard some stories a few years ago, back in the days when he was the early young owner of the Mavericks. But it was just perfect. It took some time. Yes, they missed the playoff. I think them missing the playoffs last year really humbled the whole team, just the whole organization as well. Mm-hmm. But definitely their top 2 guys and saying, like, we're better than this. We're gonna go back here and try to do something special. And they are the 5th seed, and they easily could have been a higher seed. Kyrie missed a couple games, kind of like in the beginning, like second quarter, I should say, of the season. He missed some time there. They easily could have been a top 3 seed, but it doesn't matter because it just goes to show how dominant the West is. Like, you could be a 5 seed and still go to the finals. It's going to show the depth of that conference. And I'm just happy he found the right place to be. I mean, he's 32. He's definitely on this is the second act of his career. And I think teaming up with Luka Doncic was perfect. So I think it's gonna be a perfect duo for years to come.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth on that. Years to come.
Yeah, 100%. And for Luka, best player in the world, just elite, zero offensive weakness, zero offensive weakness. 6'8", 230. You can't take him off his spot. He's strong. He's too tall. The vision is elite. I mean, just the lobs they get with Gafford and Lively, and sometimes Derrick Jones off the backdoor cuts. It's nothing you could do. It's nothing you could do. Gobert has to step up. He has to step up and contest Luka's shot. So that deception of it was in game 2. There was about like 2 or 3 plays where it looked like they were going to lose. Kyrie looked like he was about to lose the ball, and he just recovered the basketball like a quick second.
Let go of it midair.
And throw with the Lively. I'm like, you can't guard that.
No, that was an error turned into a phenomenal lob.
Right, and there's nothing you could do about that. So when people say, like, this is the roster for the Timberwolves, this is the right roster to go up against Dallas, I disagree, because again, they were up in all of these games with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's not like Dallas is blowing them out the water. Then you could say, yeah, this is not the right roster. But Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns aren't playing they're not even playing to the level. Well, Karl-Anthony Towns is not playing to the level he's supposed to be playing. Neither is Anthony Edwards either. I mean, Anthony Edwards only averaging 22 points. That's not gonna cut it. That's not going to cut it against against a guy that's averaging 30, 33, 7, and 9 pretty much.
Yeah.
Like what are you supposed to do? And then Kyrie's at the most fourth quarter points in the playoffs. So Karl-Anthony Towns, man, he's just been struggling. 13% from 3 over his last 5 games. 0 for 8 in game 3. You call yourself the best shooting big of all time. I think that's a little bit of karma because obviously a lot of people feel like Dirk is the best shooting big of all time. He's playing the Mavericks, so it kind of be a little reverse like situation there. But he has to step up. And this is one of my problems with Cat sometimes is he just wants to shoot threes. He doesn't have a counter. He's not a 3-level scorer to me. Now he has the skill set, and there's times where he'll show that he could be that, but we don't see him on a consistent basis. He just wants to stand at the 3-point line, shoot threes. Like, and when you're so much better than that, he's so much better than the stretch 4. You've seen this guy score 60 multiple times in an NBA setting. So 50-point games. I don't understand. I don't understand why he just doesn't lock in and you go to a counter and go, do some post moves. Use your size because they could easily match up with their size with the Mavericks, but Gobert is not a threat offensively in the paint at all. 0. That's again my thing with him too is okay. Yeah, you're a really good defender, anchor of the defense, but you don't have a push shot. You've been in the league for 12 years. You've never worked on a push shot. 11 years. You never worked on a push shot. Just a little push shot. That's it. With both hands. That's all you got to do. That's it.
And
that's it. I'm not. Yeah.
I was just gonna say we even seen during the FIBA, I think it is, that he was shooting the threes. So like,
man.
what was all that? Because. Like you said, 9 points in their last game in 31 minutes. 29 minutes. 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. Granted, he has a defensive presence. But Conley had 16
rebounds?
6. Towns had 11 rebounds. But he only had 14 points.
6 rebounds. 6 rebounds for your defensive player of the year. And he makes an impact. He does make an impact for sure. Right. He's definitely impacted this Minnesota Timberwolves team. There's no denying that. But he's just not as dominant as defensively as some like Ben Wallace or Hakeem Olajuwon, Mutombo, Dwight Howard. Like I've never seen that type of game from him. I've seen Wembanyama already have those type of games year 1. I've never seen. Can you name me a definitive, impactful Rudy Gobert defensive moment in the playoffs?
Usually in the playoffs is when we always see him get cooked, put on an island, and danced around.
And it's just he just I don't know. He just doesn't. He needs to bring that. You just gotta have that dog, and for him to be a 4-time defensive player, you have to be a dog for sure, but. I just in the playoffs, I just don't see it like that. I don't see him changing the game defensively as I feel like he should. And yes, like I said, these games are close, but you have to make plays too. You got 4 of those awards in your crib.
But that's why I feel like
it's almost see him change the game.
Because like what you're saying, like the Timberwolves have been up so much, but then in like the 6 minutes, 7 minutes left to go in the game, it's just. Dallas puts it into another gear. It's almost to me like it's fatigue setting in on this, where they're having to play more defense, different things from their backcourt at least. But I'm not
buying the fatigue, bro. Everybody's tired. You tell every team is tired. All these guys are tired. So I'm not like people on TV.
What's the difference then? Like what's making them for the last 5-6 minutes of the game to not turn up?
They don't have a better duo.
But for 75% of the game, even probably 80%,
right?
Their team
don't
is
have closers.
Leading.
They don't have a closer. They don't have a closer.
I mean, Anthony Edwards is a closer, but I guess what you're saying is with the two, you don't have two basically.
They don't have a closer.
Are you saying
if you're down 0-3 in all three of the games, you blow a lead in the fourth quarter? What am I supposed to say, bro? Like, okay. I know that the average is good, but like you're down 0-3 and you were up in all of the games and you didn't close the game. So that to me, that goes to show you don't have a closer. I'm not buying the tired narrative. I see people on TV, they're talking about the tired. Every player in the conference finals is tired. All of these guys have played 82 plus games already. Like that's not. I'm sorry. I'm not going to fall into that trap of what is that? Some type of excuse? That's not an excuse to me. Everybody's tired, bro. When you get to the
I'm not using it as an excuse. I think it's that Dallas is in more shape. I do think like you're what am I trying to say?
Well conditioned. Yeah.
Well conditioned. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. When I say in fatigue, I don't think I'm not saying it as a hindrance for them. I think like Dallas is more improved of that, and that's why when it's crunch time and its legs are getting a little shaky, hey, we're not tired yet. We can still keep going with this because we're well in shape. I even think back of Rip Hamilton during the Pistons days. Like everybody talked about how much more he ran than everyone and how well in shape, and like he's never tired in the fourth quarter, and you could see a difference there. Now, I'm not saying fatigue as in an excuse for them. I think it's just Dallas is running all over them, and they're not nearly up to that par of conditioned. And I hate to say that for NBA players.
It's just tough. It's just tough when Luka and Kyrie, when they call for that screen, it's so many things you have to worry about. There's so many things you have to worry about. Are they going to score? Are they going to pass? Who they're going to pass it to? How are they going to score? That's a lot of stuff to worry about in milliseconds as a defender. It is. And you can't really play how you want to play because the ref's going to call a foul because they're going to favor the offensive player. So it's really like 10 on 5, really, if you think about it. Just think about how skilled these guys are and what they're able to do. Just
less than 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, less than 4 minutes ago, Indiana up 3. And again, it's another team can't close. That's been the story of the conference finals. One team can close, the other one can't. Really, the story of the entire both conferences. But I just want to still just dive into the series a little bit more too. But it's 33, 7, and 9. It's just this is what he does. This is what he does in the regular season too.
Yeah,
he averages his regular season average in the playoffs. What? It's just unstoppable. As I said, he's been playing professionally since he was 13.
Yeah.
Well, I think he won MVP. I think he won MVP of the Euro League at 16 or 17. Won a championship for the Euro League right before he got drafted to the Mavericks. He's just born to play basketball. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. And they're playing defense. Luka and Kyrie, they're playing defense. They've been excellent on ball and off ball defenders, especially off the ball.
I'm gonna ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
If you were starting a franchise, because I heard you say that he's the best player in the world, and I've heard you say other people are too. So if you could pick to start a franchise right now between Luka and Jokic, who are you taking?
It's tough, man. It's tough. Obviously, Jokic won the championship. So
3 MVPs.
Yeah, 3 MVPs, but Luka's only 25, so he definitely has time to get 3 MVPs too. And as we said, it's probably over for Jokic in terms of winning more MVPs. So I'm pretty sure they're going to give a lot of those to Luka now.
Deservedly so.
Sure, yes, yeah. Either
it's going to be tough.
But yeah, to answer your question though, man, I would say I'm gonna go Luka because
I'm with you.
To me, he could do everything that Jokic could do, but at the guard spot.
Mm-hmm.
So even though yes, Jokic has a mismatch anyway because there's not a center on the planet that could even do anything defensively that could stop him at all. But for Luka, it's just setting the screen. It's just what he was able to do with the basketball. It's tough to stop. It's tough to stop, man. They're both triple-double threats. They're both probably going to end up top 2, top 3 all time in triple doubles, for sure. I think they're both past Westbrook when it's all said and done, and Oscar Robertson, of course. But it's close. But I'm gonna go Luka just because he's younger, and I mean he's already about to go to the finals at 25 years old.
I'm going to Luka too for the fact
crazy.
that he can bring the ball up the court, and I know Jokic brings up the ball up the court sometimes
Yeah,
too. It's
pretty
a
much,
weird thing, but it looks so weird when he does it. But like Luka is the guard, let's just be honest. He is the guard, and you can make that center better because of Luka's play. Now, of course, Jokic makes everyone better as well, but sometimes he has to get down to the post and he has to get the ball. If you can't pass him the ball, he's no good. So I'm just going to go.
Not really.
He's got to get the ball. I mean, he does set great screens. He's still good on tip ins and stuff like that. But I'm saying that's where Luka, it's automatically he's going to be able to be in his playmaking mode from the inbound play because he's got it.
Right, yeah, it's just different style. Yeah, it's different styles, but they do the same thing. Yeah, they really do the same thing. It's like everything you just described for Luka, like Jokic literally does the same thing.
He does.
Just one's taller, the other's faster. Like that's just one weighs a little bit more. Like that's really the only big difference.
I hate when Jokic brings the ball up the court. He looks so awkward, does he not? He looks like a chicken running.
He's 6'11", bro. He's 6'11", 7 feet tall. It's not supposed to look fluid, bro.
It's not supposed to look that fluid.
I mean, it's fluid. It's the most fluid I've seen at that position.
All right, Dallas in 4 or Dallas in 5? Or Dallas in 6 or 7. To be fair,
man. I'm gonna go Dallas in 4, bro. It's just off the trend. I mean,
it's at home.
But it's not even the fact that it's at home because Minnesota had a lead against them when on the road. So it's just again they don't know how to close. It's kind of like what we saw when they went up against the Grizzlies 2 years ago. They were close. They were up, and the Grizzlies just found there was like multiple 20-point leads that they blew in that series. Ended up going to 7 games where Minnesota easily could have won that series in like 5.
Yeah.
But they didn't know how to close in games. And Carl Newtown struggled in that series just like he's struggling right now. It's PJ Washington stepped up big time as well. I mean, that was just a monumental trade that they made in the second half of the season at the trade deadline. That put them in title contention, clearly, because they're about to go in the finals. So with Gafford and PJ Washington coming from the slums, really the slums, NBA slums, I should say, because these guys are millionaires, but NBA slums playing with Luka and Kyrie. Now, one win away from going to the NBA finals after playing for the Washington Wizards and the Charlotte Hornets.
And this team wasn't even together for the full season because of mid-season trades.
Right, just half a season. Half a season, look how well they're playing. So
yeah.
All those guys are young too. Lively's young. Lively's a rookie. Luka's 25. I think Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington, I think, are 25, 26. So it's not like this team is old or they only have a couple years left. Like Kyrie's 32. They're going to be here for a while.
Wow.
They're going to be here for a while.
When I use the D word, you get mad at me, so I'm not going to say it.
What?
Could this be a dynasty in the near future?
Well, you got to win one first before we start talking.
See that's like, see, I told you when I used the D word. You thought, Andy, get your head out of the gutter, boy.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what. No, I just didn't know what you were saying. Like I didn't know what you were talking about. Okay. I wasn't thinking like that, bro. I just didn't know what you meant.
Are we going to dive into the Pacers?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Dive into the Pacers and Celtics. So
of course, did you add it? Oh no, it's just down at the bottom. Okay. I was lost there for a second. Of course, Celtics Pacers right now 3-0 lead. Celtics has it at home, and tie ball game with a minute left to go in the game. So interesting play here. It's crazy to think that we had such great matchups in the second round, and now we come to this and we have 2 3-0 series closeout games, of course, right here going on, where now it's tied with a minute to go in the game. What have you observed on this series, man? I mean, it's star power 1-0, but
Indiana, they can't close. It's the same thing with the Timberwolves. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Other than game 2, Indiana was in all of these games. And now they just lost the lead. Boston's up 105-102 with 43.9 seconds left. And they were up for the entirety of this game pretty much. Again, Celtics going on a 15-4 run in the last 4 minutes. Just like Dallas went on like a 17-4 run to end the game last night. It's just they had game 1. That's when it went downhill. They had game 1. I don't know what happened in those last 50 seconds. That was some of the worst execution I've seen in late games execution I've seen from a playoff team in a very long time. The inbound play, which led to Siakam, it goes off Siakam, then they get the ball back. Then TJ McConnell's lost on the screen, which leads to the Jaylen Brown 3. Just when you're supposed to just switch and get your hands up and contest, he's completely lost on the screen, has no idea what's going on. Siakam has to go under, he gets there late. Jaylen Brown obviously hits a big shot. It's just what an offensive rebound by Jrue Holiday. Wow, this game is over. Wow.
Okay, I was gonna say I got 19 seconds left. Never mind that.
Wow. And Boston goes back to the NBA Finals for the second time in 3 years. They just swept the Indiana Pacers 4-0. Pacers just blew another 4-point fourth quarter lead. So
like Pacers couldn't even get that foul.
Completely sold on their home court. They had game 1, 3, and 4. They were right there. And two out of the 4 games, they didn't even have Tyrese Halliburton, and they were in contention to win all those games. So for the Pacers, I look at Miles Turner, man. I just felt like Miles Turner should have had a much better series than how he played. He's not dominant to me at all. This is a series where he should have looked at it like, I need to go out and get an average 20 and 15.
Because they don't have Porzingis, right?
They didn't have Porzingis this whole. They barely had any depth. Cornette was kind of in and out of the lineup. They were playing. Horford was the only guy out there. You got to outplay Al Horford, bro. You can't let a guy that's been in the league for 18 years and you're 20-something years old completely outplay you, beat you in the effort plays. That can't happen. That can't happen, man. So he didn't play well. He didn't play well in this series at all. Tyrese Halliburton getting hurt, and being out for game 3 and game 4. Mm-hmm. Siakam, no points in the final 3 minutes and 33 seconds of the game. Ooh. Yeah, you have to give a lot of credit to the Celtics defense, and just again what the Pacers were just unable to do. I mean, it's crazy how a team can lose themselves. They could play so well for 45 minutes and then just completely lose yourself in those last 3. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Especially in today's NBA too, where teams go on runs, and for them to go on a run like that in the last 16-4 run in the last 3 minutes. I'm not surprised because again, I picked the Celtics to win the chip. But when you see them actually do the actions of winning and executing, you're definitely still impressed. You're still impressed. And back to the finals. Here we go. Here we go. Tatum and Brown have another opportunity to eliminate the narrative that they can't win together. here we go. We obviously feel like they're gonna play the Mavericks, unless something catastrophic happens, which I doubt. So they're gonna play Dallas. It's gonna be a great matchup. For the Pacers, what should the Pacers do in the offseason? They need to figure out the shooting guard, small forward position. They have to get better at that spot because Miles. If this is the Miles Turner you're going to get, which is fine. Starter, good player, could get you 15, 7, and 8, block some shots, space the floor. Cool, but he's not a elite playoff performer. He can't be a third guy. He's not so they need to figure out that shooting guard and small forward spot in Indiana. Nembhard played really well in these game 3 and game 4. For them, he's going to continue to grow and develop. He's a very young player. Neesmith is also a young player. He's gotten better. What's his development going to look like? Those are the two guys that if you're a Pacer fan, you have to look at and hope they continue to grow and develop, because if they're going to be in that starting lineup, they're going to have to produce at an even higher clip coming next year, because now next year teams are not going to sleep on you. They're expecting you to be good. They're going to game plan against you. They're going to see what you didn't do in these games against the Celtics and try to implement that next year in the 24-25 regular season. So to me, it was a successful season. Obviously not success in terms of winning the championship, but success in terms of the direction of the team for the Indiana Pacers, for sure, without question.
100% on that, for sure.
When you make a trade for Siakam, sometimes you don't know. You don't know if it's going to mesh, if it's going to work with the top player already have there on the team. And I think it's going to work well. I just think they need a couple more pieces. I think the bench is solid. Mathurin to come up, it'll be Mathurin, Toppin, McConnell. That's plenty. That's enough off the bench there. So those two positions they have to figure out: shooting guard, small forward, and whatever happens there, whether they make a move or whether those guys develop and get better, that's going to be the key of how far they really go going forward. Can they be a true contender in the Eastern Conference? Going to rely on those two positions.
I mean, Levine wouldn't be a bad pickup there, would it?
Yeah, it sounds good, but Levine is not a defender. Is he willing to sacrifice? Is he willing to be the opposing team, the best defender on the team, and the closer?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I just don't see that, and he can't stay healthy. He's been hurt for the last 3 years. So it's just like, you're gonna pay him a lot of money, but can you depend on him? I don't think they need to go the Levine route. I think there's some better options for them. And for the Celtics, it's time. It's time. Porzingis is coming back. You just won the series without Porzingis. You just swept the Pacers without the guy that I think averaged like 18 and a half and 7 rebounds in the regular season for you. So it just goes to show the depth they have, the talent they have. Drew Holiday, bringing in Drew Holiday. You got Drew Holiday for nothing. To me, you got him for nothing. I mean, yes, I know he was a factor, and he was available because of what happened with the Dame trade. But
right,
for the Celtics to pick him up, and then for it to, perfectly, they gave him the extension. One of the best corner shooters, one of the best shooters from the corner from 3 this year, over 40%. One of the best defenders in the world, as we saw, all defensive second team, and he's just a role player. Like he's a top tier, high quality role player, and he's your fourth option, Derek White. What a career for Derek White. I mean, I never saw this. I watched him play with the Spurs, and I thought he was a good player, but I didn't see this. He completely locked in and worked on his game. It's beautiful to watch, man. It's beautiful to watch these guys where you see them come in the league first 4 or 5 years. You think that's what they're going to be. And then, whatever happens in their life, something clicks and they take their game to the next level. And Derek White is a prime example of that because, again, at San Antonio, he had some good moments and he was a good player there. But I thought he would be a good piece for them. for the sub when they traded for him, but I didn't think he'd be like that. He's making impact. I mean, you could argue he's the third best player on the team at times. At times, he's the third best player on the team. So he's been incredible. He's been incredible for them. Horford, of course, always just veteran guy. It's going to try one more time, try to win a chip. That'd be a hell of a story. Obviously, he'll ride off to the sunset if they're able to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great for his career. I believe a Hall of Fame career. Joe Mazzulla, too. Joe Mazzulla caught a lot of flack. People said, he has an opportunity to do what Udoka couldn't do, which is win a chip. Remember, they both went to the final. Now they both went to the finals now. Youngest head coach to reach the NBA finals since Bill Russell. Listen, he was given a great situation, which he didn't control, which he couldn't control. That wasn't up to him when what happened. They gave him the opportunity to be the head coach of the Celtics. He's capitalized on it. First year as a head coach, went to the conference finals. Game 7, was down 0-3, came back, tied it up, had an opportunity to win 4 in a row. Tatum gets hurt in the first quarter. Who knows what happens at the end of that game last year? This year, you come back, you bring Porzingis in, and Drew Holiday in there, and now you're back in the NBA Finals. So, it's just been incredible. It's just been an incredible run for them, for Tatum and Brown. It's going to be conflicting. It's going to be conflicting on who Tatum and Brown versus Luka and Kyrie. It's going to be an incredible finals. Incredible final. Obviously, we could dive more into it, as it's set, like as it's official. But
when it's official, right?
Yeah. But of course, we assume that Dallas is going to get that done. It was despite a sweep, it was an entertaining Eastern Conference Finals to me. I mean, if you watch the games, if you're just looking at it like 4-0, you'd be like, it was a wash, but definitely was not a wash. The Pacers, they competed, they fought outside of game 2. They were in every single game. So, unfortunate. We'll see what happens with them next season. And for the Celtics, it's just you got to get 4 more. If not, then this season is a massive failure. Jaylen Brown, $300 million man, played really well in the series. Played really well. Made a big shot. That shot in game 1 was big shot. That was a big shot. He won Eastern Conference. He won the MVP. Oh, nice. Yeah, he deserves that. He deserves that for sure. Incredible. That shot he made, man, is just for him to get the elevation, got his elbow tucked in, and it was really so much. There wasn't a lot of space between him and Siakam for him to get that shot off in that corner. In the corner, in front of the Pacers bench. Come on now. Got to get that man his credit. Tatum averaged 30 and 10, 46% from the field. No excuses. So there is no excuses. They have to win the chip.
I mean, yeah, if they don't, this would be a wonderful story to get to listen to, but I would hate it for them.
Have to win the chip, but it's again, it's Luka and Kyrie.
It's going to be tough. I think it's going to be 6-7 games, whoever, for sure on this one. Right. I don't think it's going to be any kind of sweeps. But do we want to go ahead and get on over to our other topics? I'm getting kind of tired. I ain't going to lie.
Let's do it.
I'm getting old, man. That's why I like doing those shows on Sundays, because I don't work. So let's see here. We got the MNC's top 5 scoring backcourts. So let's see what you got pulling up here. I'm afraid to see it, just to be honest with you.
Scoring back. What happened?
Yeah, I said you always come up with these really tough graphics that it's hard to make a pick.
Oh no graphics for this one, man. This is just our rankings, our list.
Okay.
Got here. Honorable mention for me: Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, Walt Clyde Frazier, Earl Apparel Monroe. for backcourts. Sam Jones, Bob Cousy. I got to give respect to the legends, man. I mean, I like to try to bring history again, bring the past and the present. When I try to do these lists and make people look those guys up if you don't know who those guys are. They were dominant in their time. At number 5, and at number five, I have Luka and Kyrie.
Okay.
If they win a championship, this list will change. But right now, since they haven't won a championship, I got them at 5. I mean, we've pretty much talked about why they're so special in the Western Conference Finals review. So that's just 66 points combined in Game 3. Like, what am I supposed to do with that, man? Like, it's just too dominant. Number 4, I got Parker and Ginobili. They were special, man. They were special. A lot of people forget about them and what they did. With the Spurs, Ginobili, one of the greatest 6 men of all time. Him and Jamal Crawford, to me, are the top 2 ever at that spot. Mm-hmm. Tony Parker, definitely one of the most underrated point guards in his era. Everybody talks about Nash, Chris Paul, all those guys, but Tony Parker was Finals MVP, made big plays. They were pretty special backcourt. At number 3, I got Jordan and Ron Harper. Ron Harper was, when he was in Cleveland, he was averaging 19 points a game. He was a scorer. He was a guy that could, do a multitude of things. But once he got to the Bulls, they didn't need him to do that. They need him to play defense. And him and Jordan as a backcourt defensively, with Pippen at the 3, it was nothing you could do. A lot of people don't talk about Ron Harper when they mention those Bulls teams. He doesn't get a lot of the credit. You talk about the 3 main guys, Rodman, Jordan, and Pippen, but Ron Harper was a big time. He played a big time factor in that. So I got them at 3. At number 2, I got Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars with the Bad Boy Pistons. Joe Dumars Finals MVP. Isaiah Thomas, top 5 point guard of all time. Won 2 championships back to back. Without a top 50 player, without a top 75 player all time, only player to do that. He's not underrated, but as time goes on, people forget how great Isaiah Thomas was. Because people need, and I've seen him. He's been tweeting his accomplishments. I don't even follow him, but his stuff just pops up on my timeline because it's just NBA stuff, and he's been making it known that like what he brought to the table during his time, and he should because that's an app where a lot of people were not watching him. They weren't alive when he was playing at a high level. So there's nothing wrong with reminding people how great you were. And in terms of small guys, 6'3" and under guards, I mean, who had a better career than him? What he was able to do, playing in the 80s with dominant bigs. I just feel like he doesn't get the credit. I mean, I know it was those 2 championships for the Pistons. It was like the tail end of Magic Bird, and then right before Jordan's run. So like they're right there in the middle. So I feel like they don't really get the credit, and then also how they play. People don't like that, but Isaiah Thomas is special, man. Isaiah Thomas is incredible. So I got Dumars and Thomas at 2, and number 1 obviously is Splash Brothers. I mean, that's just no debate there. The greatest shooting backcourt ever. 2 top 5 shooters of all time. Curry's the greatest shooter ever. What they were able to do during that run with four championships in 8 years. I think 6 finals appearances in 8 years. It just an incredible run. They changed the game. Both of those guys, they changed the game. They changed how the game is played today. The floor spacing, the way they got the shots up too. It wasn't just jacking up threes, just to jack up threes. It was how they were getting threes. Sometimes without even dribbling the basketball, like you should be seeing Clay get 30-something, 60-something, and a couple dribbles. It's just their off ball, their off ball ability, they were able to do during that 8-year span was special. So easily Splash Brothers best scoring backcourt of all time.
I'm going to agree with you. But when I just look at Luka against Steph, okay, obviously Steph with the accolades that he has right now gets the point. But then I look to Kyrie and Clay. Clay's knockdown shooter and a defensive guy. And they call them the Splash Brothers for a reason. But it's kind of really hard for me to say that Kyrie is not better than Klay Thompson. And I know the mesh that they have together, the chemistry, the way that they just work well together, both of them knocked down. But I don't think I would be mad if someone said that Kyrie and Luka, after a couple years, maybe if they get a few rings, might be in that conversation. So I'm with you. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry has to be that as far as the number one. But I'm not mad at Luka and Kyrie together. I even figured you would say LeBron and Kyrie, but I know LeBron's probably more of a front court, but he plays back court as well. So that one's one of those tough ones that I don't know how you would want to go that way. One of my favorite backcourt duos that I think was underrated, and you're going to laugh at me here, is Gary Payton and Hawkins back in the Seattle Supersonic days. Love them when they had Shrimp and Sean Kemp as well. Like, that team was a really great team, and they both, one was defense, one was shoot and could jump out of a gym as well, while the Gary Payton is Gary Payton. We know who he is. But I used to love the Sonics during that time, so I have to put them in there just because of fan favorite with that. Going through, just trying to think.
Some fun ones, some favorite ones of mine. Just like not like all-time level, but still really, really good. You got Steve Nash, Joe Johnson, Jason Kidd, Vince Carter.
See, I was about to say that one because Jason Kidd's my favorite player. So, and the whole Nets era, man, like, it was Lob City. But I didn't know if we could really say Vince Carter because he kind of played more. Well, he gets you shooting guard, but I was going to say he was 3-2. They had
Richard Jefferson at the 3. Yeah,
Jefferson at the 3. Yeah. So
let me see. Rondo and Ray Allen were really good for those few years. And
but
Boston,
yes, Parker and Ginobili are definitely there. The only thing is, he's 6-man, but yet they're still the duo, I guess.
Yeah, listen, the closing lineup was Parker, Ginobili, whoever the small forward was. Yeah, so that's just what they did, and they both hit big. Ginobili was so clutch in the playoffs, man. Yo, he was clutch. He was clutch. People forget, man. He was a problem. He was doing the Euro step and doing all that type of stuff before everybody else did. He transcended the game. He transcended the game for sure. No doubt about it.
I know they don't have any rings, but I almost feel like, we talked about them earlier, is DeRozan and Kyrie. Not Kyrie, but Lowry.
Kyle Lowry. Yeah, that's a fun one.
Lowry.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That goes along the line with Kidd and Carter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That goes in that category. Yeah, they were good. They were good. They had a good McCollum and Lillard. Exciting for sure. Just weren't unable to win a championship. That's what I'm saying. If the Mavericks were able to win a championship, then that puts them higher on the list for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you could argue maybe higher than Ginobili and Parker, because if you were to rank the players, even with everything that Tony and Ginobili have accomplished, I think those two guys in Dallas would be the top two guys.
Yeah. What about even John Stockton and Hornacek?
Hornacek, sure, yeah.
Because I feel like that's a good one up there. That's probably underrated.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. It is definitely
Would
underrated.
you would you consider Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill?
Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill. How many years they play together?
Not very many.
Yeah, I can. You need at least a few years, few seasons.
Hey, what about Mark Jackson and Reggie Miller?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. They were fun.
I like that one.
Yeah, they were fun in
Am I
the
showing the
90s.
age here?
I mean, yeah, they were a good backcourt.
Gilbert Arenas. Who was his backcourt with him in Golden State?
In Golden State?
Or no, it's Wizards when he was coming on, wasn't it? Or no,
he became good. He became Agent Zero in DC, right?
Yeah.
Who was their shooting guard? They had a couple guys. They had a couple. I know Antoine Jameson was a small forward, so Curry and Monte Ellis for a little bit too. It was pretty good.
That was nice.
They were pretty good, and then they made a trade, which obviously changed the complexity of that franchise. But what a trade that was! But yeah, Monte and Steph for a little bit was calm. It's definitely calm. Even Baron Davis and young Monte.
Hey, good. That's a good one.
They were good. They were good too. They were good.
Let's see here. Gilbert Arenas, shooting guard. Alonzo Gee.
Yeah,
Mike Miller and Deshaun Stevenson.
Nick
Young was on that team?
Nick Young, yeah. That was towards like the end of Gilbert's time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 2009, 2010. John Stark. Who would have been his?
Well, they had Doc Rivers, they had Greg Anthony, they had a couple guys next to the Starks. The Starks come with the mention times too.
All right, so let's go on to the next one. Our top scoring duos. Is that what we just did?
No, we just did scoring backcourts.
Backcourt, okay. Top scoring duos.
Top scoring duos. Listen.
Oh gosh. Are you about to say Brunson here?
Nah, come on, chill.
Okay.
I'm not crazy.
Whew. Brunson and whoever you want to put from the Knicks.
At number 5, right. At number 5. At number 5, I got LeBron and Kyrie.
I don't know, man. As far as scoring, that works.
Yeah. The 40-40 piece. Every time this time around, playoffs, final season, I always think about that 40-40 game between both of them. That was one of the greatest games I've ever seen from a duo ever. Won that championship down 1-3 to the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. They're in my top 5. No doubt. They had some special moments as a duo for sure. Won the 3 straight finals. Number 4, I got LeBron and Wade. I just can't erase 2010 to 2014 out of my mind. I mean, that especially the first 2 years, the first 3 years. First 3 years were incredible with those two. I mean, the full court lob passes.
Lobs.
It was
playground ball.
Everybody was tuned into Miami Heat game. Everybody, whether you wanted them to lose or whether you wanted them to win, you were tuned in. And it was because of those two guys. Their chemistry was incredible. Obviously, we know the infamous clip of Wade holding his hands out, LeBron's about to dunk. That's obviously an iconic photo. Just speaks to just what they were able to do. I want to go. Honestly, when I get some time, I'll go back and watch some highlights of that run that they had, because it's been a while since I've watched that run. especially when they won 27 in a row. That was a special time, man. That was a special time. I thought they were really about to break the record. But yeah, LeBron and Wade definitely hands down top 5 scoring duo of all time. Anybody want to debate me? I'm here for the debate. Number 3, Jordan and Pippen.
Ooh, 3.
I got him at 3. Only because like Pippen wasn't that big of a scorer. Or like for all he was kind of like an all around guy. Obviously Jordan did most of the scoring. Dominant, 6 championships, 2 3-peats. We know the accolades. Unfortunately, they're not cool to this day. But when they were on the court playing in that Bulls uniform, there was really no one better. No one better for sure. Number 2, I got Magic and Kareem. Kareem obviously all-time leading scorer. I mean, so it's like, you got to be top 3 somewhere in a scoring duo. and Magic was setting Kareem up for those sky hooks and putting him in the best position to succeed with the passing. And like he was averaging 19 points, could have easily averaged more if he wanted to, but he was just a pass first guy. So I got Magic and Kareem at 2, really close between Jordan and Pippen and Magic Kareem. But again, let's give the slight edge. I just feel like Magic and Kareem offensively was a little bit better than just Jordan and Pippen, getting like 17 here and there. And then number 1,
Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah,
we know it. It's Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, it will always be. It will always be Shaq and Kobe. Best duo of all time, period. I mean, there's not a better duo than Shaq and Kobe. If you say Jordan and Pippen, my number 1 rebuttal is Pippen never did anything close to what Kobe did. Kobe went from a 2 to a 1 and became better than the 1. So I mean, that's automatic debate ender. Right there, bro. You use that, you're good. You get an automatic dub.
And I'll say this: I don't think you're talking bad about Pippen in any form or fashion with that discussion.
This wasn't a scorer. Yeah.
And he didn't have to be. Of course, when Michael wasn't there, he was a scorer. But he didn't have to be. He could focus on the defense and be the knockdown 3 or even a rebounder. So no, I think anyone in their 20s to 40s will say that Shaq and Kobe is the number 1 scoring duo ever, just for the fact of the highlights that you see. The lob with the dunk from Shaq and then walking back up the court, looking at his hand. I mean, it is NBA basketball. And of course, like you said, I mean, I'm just going to really basically agree with all you on this. One I thought maybe you might throw in there is a Penny and Shaq, but Penny was hurt quite a bit. I think those 2 players had a lot of potential of being on a top 5 list, but it never happened. I can't believe you didn't put Luka and Kyrie on this either, though. But it's tough. Who do you take out?
You got to win a championship. You got to win a championship.
And I'm with you.
To get in that conversation. That's the only reason why I got them 5 and the first one, and I don't have them on. And I mean, for this one, they got to win 2 championships. I mean, because the people I got here. I mean, Luka, LeBron, and Kyrie won 1, but that 1 counts for 7. I mean,
okay, the story.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Yeah. Am I wrong though?
Right, because I mean, I hate the narrative that that's all that they had on the team. That's the team that they assembled together. No one was hurt or out. It's just that was really their team, and that's what they went with. So no, that's who they had to do. So that was their team. So no, I'm with you on that. The fact that they came back 3-0 against or 0-3 against the top
3-1, 1-3, right?
3-1 against the top scoring backcourt of all time that we just said. So I mean, yeah, it definitely weighs heavy. I even think, Shaq and Kobe back to back for the Lakers during that time. Then, of course, you got Michael and Scotty, who won 6 total, and those would have been backs to whatever if there wasn't a gambling conspiracy going on. But anyways, so yeah, there has to be championships for sure in there.
Of course. Like it would be inconsistent on how I look at the game if I put Luka and Kyrie at one or something like that, and they haven't won a championship. So,
like before I would put Luka and Kyrie, I would almost consider Jamal and Jokic in this top scoring duo, just because. I mean, they deserve it before Luka and Kyrie is what I'm saying. Don't you agree? Because I mean, they've got the ring.
Right. Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. Before them,
easy,
right
man.
now. Yeah.
Whoa,
not right now.
Whoa. Easy.
But okay. But listen, if the Mavericks win the chip, I'm taking Luka. Yeah. Right. I'm taking Luka and Kyrie.
Okay. Who are you knocking out? Which one?
No. I'm saying. No. I'm saying.
And my comparison.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Between Murray and Jokic, I would take Dallas duo.
Okay.
Good. Just Kyrie, man.
Anyone else? I mean, could you put Larry Bird with anyone as far as a dual scorer?
You say Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale is pretty six man of the year too. Celtics were stacked, man.
Who'd you put?
One of the best power forwards of all
Kareem?
time. Yeah, Magic and Kareem. Yeah, that's a lock.
I'm just trying to think. Is there anyone back in that era where
you could go Oscar and Kareem. They won one. They won the chip. I think it was 76.
Okay.
Oscar and Kareem. I mean, Oscar was averaging 30-point triple doubles in the 60s, and Kareem was. We know what Kareem did. So, Jerry West, Will Chamberlain.
That's a good one.
If you want to go way back, I mean, we could. If you want to turn the clock, I mean, we could go that far. But I mean, if we just keep it in.
That's when they're playing plumbers.
Just I don't like disrespect. I used to say stuff like that, but I kind of chill because like it was still in the A, bro. I mean, it wasn't the most talented version of the A, obviously, but they were still the most talented players in there.
And we're getting way off of this with this conversation about to start here. But there's it's an episode on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's Netflix. Might be Peacock. That is called Fastball, where it's a documentary basically about the evolution of a fastball pitch in the major leagues. And they're talking about this one story where they clocked a guy and it was, the fastest arm in the 50s and everyone was scared of it because he threw so hard. And it turns out they clocked him at 83 miles per hour. You think of that now and that's a change up. Right, but they also talked about trying to break it down a little bit more, and they were going scientifically of how far they measured it and how it went based on that. That actually, if they used the same style that they did now, that it would almost be 100 miles per hour. But you don't know how much they're putting gas on that, to be honest with you. And it's just like the farther back you go, they had a 9-to-5 job while still playing professional sports. So you can say it's a plumber, but man, if they spent the time that we do now in our sports back then, it would be the same product. I don't care what they say. Like if you develop that much time into it and stay in it, engage that much, you're going to be athletic. So that's why I hate comparing.
I agree.
They didn't have the science, the physics, the whole 9 yards of what all we have now. I mean, LeBron, he puts in like $1 million for his body each year to just try to keep it maintained. Could you imagine a Wilt Chamberlain doing that?
Yeah, I mean, he was probably putting in not $1 million, but probably the equivalent of that back in his time.
Right, and look at him. So
right. I agree.
All right, we're just getting in conversations here now, and I don't know if we know we're on live right now. That's a conversation we're having, but I think we can go ahead and wrap this up. CJ, as always, has been a great show. Great topics, man. I can't wait the next week where we see where Dallas is if the series is over. Should be over by then for sure. And we're talking Boston, Dallas into the finals if Dallas closes out what they've been closing out all game long. So it should be fun to talk. Might be a quick episode because it's only going to be 2 teams left in it. But we'll come up with something to discuss. We'd love to get you guys on here talking with us in like spaces or whatnot. We haven't done a space in a long time. With it being almost the finals, we might have to do that and see get some interaction going on with that. But where can everybody find you at, CJ?
You can find me on X at CJames9 _ CJ.James9 on Instagram. CJ versus the World on YouTube.
And of course, well, I guess Hard Count is not coming up anytime soon. Are you?
Yes. Yeah, we're in the off season right now, so nothing dropping that as of late.
Gotcha. Of course, you can find me MDLawson00 on all social media platforms. I also have my second show of Cats Chat, which is everything Kentucky sports locally here in the eastern part of Kentucky, from high school all the way up to, of course, Kentucky, University of Kentucky. We do have a local head coach that's coming on the show with us on Wednesday, and he did play for Kentucky, and now he spent some time in the major leagues in professional as far as coaching stuff, and let's go back to the mountains to coach. So it should be fun to have him on there. Of course, you can follow our show. You can go to Linktree/@MNC Hoops to find all social media links, but go subscribe to our YouTube channel down right here. And it's youtube.com/@MNC Hoops. And subscribe and hit that notification bell, and of course, like all our videos, man. We do great stuff. So we appreciate you guys being tuned in with us for so long. Even as we're signing off here, we still have over 25 people, which is awesome. You guys are on X. We'd love to get you on YouTube where we see some of those comments as well. I think X is about to update that as well. So hopefully we get to that soon. But guys, until next time, keep balling as much as you can and keep active on them gamers. You might get in there and see CJ versus the World, throwing it up on there a little bit. But are you about ready to buy NCAA football? When's that coming out? June?
Yeah, that comes out in July. July. I'm about to get the they got like the dual. You get Madden and college football 25 for like 150.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's it's 70 for each game. It's 70 for each game. So I mean, if you're playing both games, you're
Wouldn't
pretty
that be
much
140.
Yeah, and then you get like a little extra. But I'm saying it's not just the game you get when you pre-order it. You get like incentives and stuff like
all them X points. It's past my time on that stuff. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
But no, yeah, I am getting college football 25. Yes, for sure, automatically. We haven't had a college football game in 11 years. I need that.
Well, I'm going to ask you this: what team are you going to play for?
And Road to Glory. I'm not sure. Maybe University of South Carolina, probably.
Come on, man. Stay in the SEC.
Kentucky.
Come on, man.
I mean, yeah, that's the beauty of the game. Like you could play anywhere, and I can't wait for that game to come out.
All right, guys. We thank you all so much for joining in here. Until next time, I hope you all have a great one, and we'll see you all soon.
See you guys next week. Take care.